What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily Rewind. This is where we go back a week and give you all of your tech news in one single video. Tons of news, as always. Some week, well, I shouldn't say always. Some weeks are kind of slim. This week was juicy and thick and filled with Galaxy Fold 2, which is one of the most exciting phones for me that I'm hoping that will be out very, very soon. We've also get release dates and launch dates for the Note 20 and the Galaxy Fold 2 and the Galaxy Z Flip 5G and the colors they're going to come in. And another cool device that I'm very, very excited about, which is the Microsoft Surface Duo. So tons of news. Check it this week out and let me know what your favorite news story is of the week, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about the OnePlus Z. Remember, this is their budget, well, I guess mid-range phone, and it's going to go on sale very, very soon, at least in India and probably throughout the world as well. Now, this information comes from Android Central, who said OnePlus Z will be unveiled on July 10th in India. They also broke it down a little bit more, saying that the phone is powered by the Snapdragon 765G chipset, has a 90 Hz AMOLED display, and according to the leaked survey that this information came out on, it'll cost about $330 in India if you bought it with American dollars. Also due to have 12 gigabytes of RAM as well. Very, very cheap. This is going to be incredibly cheap for a mid-range phone. This looks like the new norm going forward. Next up, if you're looking to buy a Galaxy S20 Plus, you can get one for a really good deal currently on Amazon. You can get it for as little as $250 less than normal, so $949.99 outside the door. 5G unlocked, 128 gigabyte, available right now. I will link it down below. An incredible deal for a really, really great phone. And the last story of the day, all about the Galaxy Fold 2. Now, before we jump into it fully, remember the Galaxy Fold 1 had that like film cover display, and maybe people thought it felt cheap, they didn't like it. But what about the Galaxy Fold 2? Well, also remember last week I talked about a story of the Galaxy Fold 2 not having S Pen support anymore. It wouldn't have the ability to have it or even use it with the phone. Well, it looks like we have some more information about the display for the Galaxy Fold 2, and it doesn't include the usage of the S Pen. I mean, it still could, but from what I've heard, it's not going to have it, and that is that the Galaxy Fold 2 will use ultra-thin glass for its display, so that UTG ultra-thin glass on there would match what you get with the Galaxy Z Flip, which was also ultra-thin glass. This is great news. This is not a bad thing. This is a better feeling. It's a better overall experience for the end user. And this phone, remember, should probably at least be the same price, if not $200-300 cheaper at this point, especially since it won't have, or probably won't have, the S Pen with it. The other takeaway from this is that the information that's coming out is that Gorilla Glass is working on a bendable, foldable display that would bring prices down even more than what they're at coming out, or even coming out at currently. So you're probably looking at the Galaxy Fold 3 even dropping prices even more, maybe down to $1,200-1,300, maybe less than that, maybe a few $100 less than what they're going to do now. This is all great news. I mean, obviously I know a lot of people want the S Pen, and that still could happen, but it doesn't look like it's going to. But ultra thin glass, Galaxy Fold 2, yes. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day, we've kind of already spoken about this. It's the BTS edition of the Galaxy S20 Plus. And we've seen some renders of it, but we have even more renders of it, and I still want this phone. These are all from Evan Blass. I'll link it down below. And it shows the front and the back of this one. It looks a little bit pink. I don't know, I guess it's like the reflectiveness of it, but you can see on the camera, you can see that little heart below the cameras, inside the camera module, I should say. And then you get the specified wallpaper that shows off their BTS design. And again, BTS, if you didn't know, is a boy band in South Korea and really big internationally. Here's them holding the phone, and you can see it looks purple, but at some angles it looks pink. And then also don't forget about the Bud Plus BTS edition as well, purple, and then the buds themselves are purple and black, and I need this now. It's awesome looking. And the last story of the day, release date for the Galaxy Note 20 Note 20 Ultra, and a couple of other devices. So if you're ready for it, let's dive in. This comes from John Prosser, who generally leaks a lot of Apple stuff, and now he's starting to dive into some Samsung stuff. And he says phones for the Samsung Virtual Unpacked event, which is August 5th. They'll be talking about the Note 20, the Fold 2, and the Z Flip 5G. He says, if you see the next line, devices will launch on August 20th. So he's talking about those devices being released on August 20th, which makes sense because if they're doing the event on August 5th, August 20th would be basically 2 weeks later. And that makes sense and everything, which would be 2 weeks later. But the thing is, these phones are generally released on Fridays, and they could obviously change that, and John has a great track record. But August 20th is a Thursday. I feel like it's gonna be August 21st, which would be a Friday. We'll wait and see, obviously, but still, August 20th, 21st, whatever day they end up doing would be awesome, and it doesn't look like these devices are gonna fall into September at that point. So looking at the release date for the Note 20, the Fold 2, and the Z Flip 5G. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. That's an old device, but there's a new update rolling out for it. It is the Galaxy Samsung One UI 2.1 update. So if you have that phone, check in your software updates for it and see if you have it. It is rolling out, so it doesn't mean it's everywhere. You might have to wait a month, 2 months, maybe longer, maybe shorter, but just check your software updates to see if you have it. Next up is about the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 and probably the Note 20 Ultra phone as well. And that is that the display is rumored to be flat. Now, I don't know if it's gonna be as flat as the S20 or as an iPhone or some other phone as well. But per Ice Universe, he put out a little tweet that says Aristotle said the Earth is round. IceCat said Samsung Galaxy Note 20 is flat. So there you go. Flat. Again, we don't know how flat, but that's a good thing, right? I know I like the flat displays. What about you guys? Next up is about the Samsung Galaxy Fold 2, and it brings in some confirmations, such as the 120 hertz display, which is what we have heard before. So this is more confirmation that's gonna have 120 hertz. Also the resolution and sizes of the inside and outside displays, and those being a 6.23 inch outside display, and then on the inside display you're looking at a 7.7 inch display. That 7.7 inch display would have a resolution of 2213 by 1689, and then on that 6.23 inch outside display you're looking at a 2267 by 819 resolution. Also, that outside display will have a 60 hertz refresh rate. Only the big display will have 120. And then lastly, a really big get, especially if this ends up being true, and that is come July, you're looking at the Galaxy Bud Live and the Galaxy Watch 3 will be released in July. That's right, July release date for the new Galaxy Buds. These are those bean looking active noise cancellation earphones. Those are supposed to come out in July, as well as the newest Galaxy Watch 3. This is huge. This is great news. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day, PlayStation 5. Now, PlayStation 5, at least the games, if not the console and everything else, was due to be unveiled about a week or two ago, but then everything kind of started going crazy in the world. And now we're at the point where today is actually the day they've rescheduled, and they're going to launch it today at 1 p.m. Pacific time. And if you figure out where you are from there, if you click on the link, I have it down below, and you can watch it live on YouTube. Now, I think they're only going to show us games, but maybe they'll show everything else. We'll wait and see, only a few hours from now. If you're looking to get a Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, the Mega Boy, they have it on sale right now on Amazon. I'll link it down below. It's $300 off just for today, so you can get it for $1099.99. It is the 128 gigabytes of storage version, and if you want to get it, it's a great phone. Maybe you'll have the update for the camera that helps fix the auto-focusing issues. I'm still waiting for that specific update, but otherwise, link down below. Great deal on a really good phone. And the last story of the day, all about the Samsung Galaxy Fold 2. Now, these are renders, and they're based off of leaks and information that has come out from Sam Mobile and Max Weinbach and Ice Universe, and it comes from Blossom CY 1201. It doesn't show the front, unfortunately, but it shows the back and that little, little skinny screen. So as you can see from the back, the camera module looks very similar to what you get with the Galaxy S20 Ultra version of the phone, and then you have the same kind of hinge that you would get on the Galaxy Fold 1 with the Samsung branding. On the front though, that's the big difference. You get a bigger display, less bezel, camera module at the top in the middle, and then that's pretty much it what we see right now. But still, it would be great if it came out in this blue color too. That's a nice looking blue color. Galaxy Fold 2. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is if you're a fan of the HomePod, which is Apple's smart speaker. Usually it's $299. Well, it's on sale right now at Best Buy for $199.99. And if you're new to the Apple ecosystem and you want to be part of their smart speakers so you can control your smart products, this is a great deal because it's $100 off. It's linked in the description down below. Next up, all about the PlayStation 5. It was announced yesterday and they actually showed not only games off, but what the system is going to look like as well. And it looks really, really futuristic. I actually like the design of what this looks like. You can see the controllers, they're white and black, which we've known what the controllers are gonna look like, but then the systems are like super curvy, just, I don't know, I think they look great. And then they have two editions. They have the digital edition, which does not have a disk drive, meaning every game that you'll play will have to be downloaded to the system from the internet. The other one is, you can do both. You can download the games from the store, or you can buy a disc, aka a Blu-ray, and you can insert it into the system. I don't know which one I'll end up getting. I usually like the disc version, so I'll probably end up getting that because I like to trade in my games after I'm done playing them. But still, amazing looking PlayStation 5. What do you guys think? This is gonna be what the Galaxy Tab S7 looks like. Now it's kind of plain on the front, and I'll admit a little bit plain and minimalistic on the back as well. You can see where the S Pen is going to go on the back of the device. You see the cameras, you see the Samsung branding, and other than that, that's gonna be what it looks like. Again, not a lot of crazy design language here like you see on some of their other devices, but this should have an 11-inch display. There's also rumored to have a 12.4-inch display for the Tab S7 Plus. I can't imagine the Tab S7 Plus is gonna look any different, if at all. This version of the Tab S7 is also supposed to have a 7760 milliamp battery. Speaking of the Tab S7 and S7 Plus, it's gonna carry over some S20 performance, and that's the 120 hertz display. So a very, very welcome addition to their tablets. This would match what you get with the iPad Pros, which also has a 120 hertz display, and it's finally coming to the Galaxy devices. And remember, Galaxy Tab devices have AMOLED displays, so this is look and feel amazing. And the last story of the day is about the Galaxy Note 20, Note 20 Ultra. The tweet comes from Ice Universe, who says the Note 20 uses a flat screen. It's rounded, rectangle, looks more like a Galaxy A71, unlike a Note 10. Let's first quickly look at the A71. This is what the A71 looks like. So you get curved, squared off, rounded edges, whatever you want to say. So he's saying it's going to look more like that physically than a regular Note 10. And then he says only the Note 20 looks like the successor to the Note 10 series. And then in another tweet, he says maybe call them Note 20 and Note 20 Edge. So from all indications, the Note 20, the regular cheaper version, is going to have a flat display. And then the Note 20 Ultra would have more of a curved display. I don't know if it's gonna be more curved than the S20 Ultra, or probably about the same, I would assume. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about Google's Android TV dongle. Now this should be out hopefully very, very soon. And I think it's going to be a budget device, which is a good thing because then people will be able to afford it. But I also think it should run fairly well when you do your streaming. Now these are the specs potentially that they're going to have. It's going to have a Amlogic S905 X2 quad core processor, 2 gigabytes of RAM, Wi-Fi at 802.11 AC, Bluetooth 4.1, surprising it doesn't have 5.0 I guess, connects via Bluetooth, has microphone, at least that's what the remote does. Also HDR10, HLG, Dolby Vision, auto low latency mode. Now with these specs, you are able to, for instance, they might not have this feature, but it has the capability of doing it 4K 60 frames per second with HDR10 splitting the screen. So you could do that on both sides of the screen at the same time. So based off these specs, it won't be as powerful as, say, an NVIDIA Shield, but to do all your streaming and game streaming, aka playing games from the cloud, it should be absolutely fine. And it should have a price tag that makes people buy it. Next up, if you have the Galaxy Bud or Bud Pluses, you might have noticed an update. The update itself didn't bring any new features, but it brought a security update. So if you see the little screenshot here, it says implemented stability code for device security. Kind of interesting because you wouldn't think your earphones need a security update, but looks like they do. This puts one into place or updates it anyway, and you should be able to get it definitely by now. This update came out a day or two ago at this point. And the last story of the day is all about the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. Now remember, this tablet should have a 12.4-inch display. And some of the specs have leaked out for it, showing that it's going to have a Snapdragon 865 processor, at least based off these scores. And then also it's gonna have 6 gigabytes of RAM. There are rumors that it potentially probably will also have an 8 gigabyte RAM model as well. So you can see based off those at least two specs, this will be a somewhat high-end tablet. It's going to compete obviously with what they've released in the past, definitely beat it as well because it's going to have newer specs inside, but it should also compete with what the iPad Pro does as well. iPad Pro will probably still beat it in benchmarks, at least some of them anyway, but overall 120 hertz display on this is as well for that Galaxy Tab S7, S7 Plus, so definitely a beastie tablet. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day, I'm excited about this one. Microsoft Surface Duo. Remember, this is Microsoft's Android phone that will be coming out, and it was supposed to be delayed, maybe even into late this year or even early next year, and it's their dual screen phone. I'm again super excited about this one. Well, it looks like the latest coming out, this comes from Zach Bowden, who works for Windows Central. He's saying, I'm told Microsoft wants to launch the Surface Duo before the Galaxy Fold 2 is announced. So before August 5th, ? We're getting close, assuming plans don't change. Surface Duo should start shipping in less than 2 months. Now remember, the Surface Duo is supposed to only have a Snapdragon 855, 6 gigabytes of RAM. It's not gonna be a powerhouse in terms of specs, but that could also indicate that the price is going to be fairly competitive with other similar type dual screen foldable phones out there, and this potentially could be the one people buy because of the price, and maybe the performance will still be really good at the same time, because the Snapdragon 855 is no slouch. It's a great processor, and you can still play games top end, and you can run through your operating system and run through your apps and do everything really well. Again, super stoked about this. Next up is all about the Google Pixel 4a. Now this phone was due to launch in June, and then we heard it fell back to maybe July. Now it sounds like it's fallen back even later, and this comes from John Prosser, who says, where's Pixel 4a? Here's an update. Again, it seems Google has delayed the Pixel 4a. Announcement still happening on July 13th, but in the system, it's listed that the black model now launching October 22nd. Barely Blue has been removed entirely. I'll keep you updated. So it sounds weird, first of all, that they would even launch it in July but not ship it for 3 months later. That sounds a little wonky. They're either not going to announce it in July and then wait maybe until September or October to announce it, or if they announce it in July, I would assume they're going to release it very shortly after. So I kind of feel like if it's truly coming out in October, they're going to announce it when they announce the Pixel 5. And the last story today, all about the Galaxy Note 20, Note 20 Plus, and the Galaxy Z Flip 5G. The colors seem to be confirmed at this point. Now this tweet comes, so I'm going to have two tweets actually. The first one's from Ishan Agarwal, who says it's true black, gray, and copper color options for the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5G. He's saying that the Note 20 5G is going to come in gray, and then a green and copper. The green is supposed to be a mint green, and it's supposed to be crazy awesome looking. Note 20 Plus, you're looking at the copper, or whatever you want to call it, Ultra 5G. It's going to call it copper and white and black. So very, very cool colors. And then for the other tweet I have, John Prosser is also saying he's confirming the colors. And to add on to that, the Z Flip 5G colors will be black and copper. So copper making its way into all the lines of the newest phones released for the Galaxy Z Flip and Note phones. At that point, which color are you choosing for the model available? Now, I think most of you are going to choose the Note 20 Plus / Ultra, whatever they end up calling it. I'm gonna try to choose the white if I can. If I can, I will choose the black. I would love to get the mint green though if it was available in the Plus line, but it doesn't look like it is. Let me know what you guys are gonna choose. Thanks for watching. See you down the road.